And we should now be live. Hello, everyone. Hello, Kairu, sarcastic paleontologist. Everyone else who may be in chat, how are we doing today? Oh, sorry, I'm just moving my microphone slightly because it's a bit mucked up. Yeah, I'm doing okay, sarcastic. So, I thought before we went anywhere, I would announce the results of the poll to name the new PC, which I was doing both on YouTube and on Discord. So I thought I would do it live. I have the numbers here, the figures. I have to say, very few people voted in the community tab. Considering we have 3,000 subscribers, not many people voted, which I do think is a shame. Just goes to show how few people actually keep an eye on the community tab. But let's do the numbers. So for Hyperion, 36 votes for Hyperion. For Cerberus, and this is in total, taking into account all areas, 60 votes. So the new PC is going to be called Cerberus from now on. It was interesting to see that on Discord, Hyperion won the vote, but on YouTube, Cerberus won the vote. It's a very interesting divide. But yes, the new PC will be called Cerberus from now on. I actually preferred Cerberus as a name myself, so the name I preferred won. Anyway. Right. So with that done and out of the way, it's not Hyperion, no, Rob. But anyway, so today I want to sort of focus on this particular section of the Rivetor and decide sort of what animal is going to go in here and, you know, do the environment and stuff. So yeah, that's today's job. Hopefully we'll get a little bit more done than I got done last time. I do want to keep some of this so I just know sort of where the enclosure is going to go. What I think I am gonna alter some of this terrain here. Because I want some of this area over here to be walkable, climbable by whatever animal we put in here, so I do want to... Why is that one doing weird? Okay, that's a bit steep still. It's going to be so much easier to do this sort of thing once we have those new Jurassic World Evolution 3 terrain tools. But for now, we just have to deal. That's a little nicer, I think. Why didn't you name it Cerberus to begin with? Well, because I wanted to give you guys the opportunity to vote on what we called it, you know? I would have called it Hyperion if Hyperion had won the vote, even though it wasn't my preferred name, you know? I wanted to give you guys the opportunity to. It was Evo's idea to let people vote. To get people, you know, active. It didn't really work, I have to say. People didn't vote, but oh well. It is what it is. Okay. So this enclosure is going to be pretty big. I want to give them plenty of room to walk around. Although the first thing I want to do is yet again sort out this waterfall, because again it's a little messy. And I think we can tidy it up a bit and make it look a little better. Because there are a lot of unnecessary bits and bobs here. Okay. Why is there... That's weird. You've got like 2 chunks of water here? Probably only need the 1. Oh yeah, the 2... Well... Yeah, that'll do. Let's bring everything else up to the same height. That's fine. Don't worry, we'll put some of the trees back. Okie dokie. There's a new species mod that came out. It's called Luca. That's not a species. I don't know any dinosaur that's called Luca. Is that a... What is it? Camp Cretaceous thing or something? Okay. I think what we need to do is we need to move some of this water slightly closer. Thusly. And then this one. Okay. By the way, Rob, I love the map. Please don't think that I'm doing this sort of stuff, because I don't. I really do like the map that you created. It's just, I'm a little picky when it comes to how I like my waterfalls to look. You know what I'm like when it comes to piece counts and stuff. I like there not to be too much wastage. There's way too many random rocks here. This one we'll keep, and we'll have you at the very bottom. There's one that was hidden there. This one we'll reposition, have on the side there. Those ones actually I kind of like where they are. This one will just have a little higher up. This one we'll have up here. This one, I'm happy with where it is. We need amphibians in Jurassic World Evolution 3. I don't necessarily agree with you there. I do have a big problem when people use the words, we need X and X in Jurassic World Evolution 3. Because usually what people actually mean is they would like to have X and X in Jurassic World Evolution 3. I think there is a big difference between there being stuff you would like to have in the game and there being stuff that the game absolutely 100% needs. Like, personally, I would argue it needs Plateosaurus. I think the fact that we don't have Plateosaurus still is a big problem. Like, we need more Triassic period representation. That, I think, is something we do actually need. I also think we need better staff management mechanics and better economic management mechanics. I think those things we do 100% need. But when people say, oh, we need Argentinosaurus, no we don't. We've got plenty of big sauropods. Argentinosaurus would bring literally nothing to the game. The species that get added should be species that are actually going to introduce something worthwhile to the game. And I don't think yet another big sauropod, which is all that Argentinosaurus is, it's just a big sauropod. I don't think it does anything to add anything new to the game. We do need actually more information about Jurassic World Evolution 3. Yes, they are being surprisingly resistant about giving too much information away at the present time, which I think is a good thing. But at the same time, I do wonder, like, they are aware that they haven't got long to build up the hype cycle, right? More news would definitely be appreciated. Like, anything at this point would be nice. Okay, now these are the trees we are going to use for the lining. Like I say, Rob, I absolutely love the map. But when it comes to placing down trees and vegetation, my god, man, you can't do that on Jurassic World Evolution 3. You'll kill the game's FPS so fast. But the map is wonderful. I absolutely love this map. I think it's a really... I'd be curious to see what someone... like trying to build an entire, just a park as opposed to sort of the town sort of setting that we've gone for with this one. I'd be really curious to see what someone trying to build an actual park would create on this map. So I think it offers some very unique challenges. Which is, again, why I would always prefer a series of actually created maps as opposed to a map generator. I think people have a lot of nostalgia for JPOG's island generator. And, well, The truth is, it wasn't very good. It sucked. It was rubbish. Yeah, there we go. That's a little neater, a little tidier. Still looks as good in my opinion. Hello, radio. I have not seen the new Dinosauria episode. I have actually literally only just heard of Dinosauria. I didn't know it was a thing until just recently. So I haven't watched it because I didn't realize it was a thing. Okay. So all of this area down here, and then most of this upper area will become home to, I'm thinking, probably Suko, Mimus, or Barry. Well, we've already got Barry in the park, haven't we? So Suko, or me. I mean, I suppose we could also do Dinocaris, couldn't we? Dinocaris is another fish eater, so I suppose we could do Dinocaris. Thank you, radio. Right. I do want to keep some of the height difference here. I want to use this little outcrop here and position something up here. Maybe a temple or something. Definitely want there to be a bit more sand down here in this river. Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe a temple or something. Some sort of decorative structure on top of this mound. They're all a bit big, actually. Way too large. Suppose we could reuse the old church ruin. Do we have anything else we could use instead? You know what? Actually, let's... It will take a little bit longer, but... Okay, let's create a kind of fortification here. We need probably 2 towers at this end. Put one of these kind of at a jaunty angle. We'll have a bit of a break in this one. And let's put this one totally on its side. This one can go at this end. This. We can do a kind of gatehouse kind of affair. There we go. That works. Just gonna have a slurp of drink. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with chat. I really want Rebirth to not be canon. I still haven't seen it yet. I'm still waiting for it to come out on streaming services, because, you know, I refuse to pay real money for that. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the invisible fence line, because this one doesn't break if you try and put terrain decoration on it. Using this, we can kind of get a layout of the land. I need to make sure they can't walk off the edge here. Same for over here. I'm so glad that in the next game we're going to be able to just make cliffs and the dinosaurs won't try to walk up them. And we're going to have to do the same thing down here. Okay. The script of Rebirth feels AI generated. I wouldn't be surprised if it probably was. Or at least part of it probably was. Never can tell these days where AI starts and where it ends. Do you want the trees to sort of divide off this area? Just to give these guys a bit more impressiveness. Right, if we're having fish feeder eater in here, I suppose we need a fish feeder. So we'll have a fish feeder up there. Fish feeder there. We'll also put like a meat feeder in here. Actually, no, we won't do that. We'll leave this like as an area where they sleep and stuff. So we'll make it look a little rougher. And then, just to demarcate off the edge here, in some rocks. The guy who made the video about the thylacine being alive used over 120 AI-generated images in one of his videos. That's pretty horrific. A 120. Jesus. But then I suppose this is what happens when places like YouTube allow that sort of slop onto the platform. You know, they have allowed this sort of AI-generated video content onto the platform. And people will do anything to make a quick amount of money. Especially when all they have to do is edit together a bunch of video footage that they haven't had to make, you know. Are you submitting a question for the Frontier Q&A? No. I don't see the point. Frontier will only answer the questions that they want to answer. They won't ask questions that they don't want to answer. And I have questions for them they probably won't want to answer. Questions like, are you actually going to make staff management worthwhile in this game? It's not going to be something they're going to want to talk about because staff management doesn't sell games. They're going to pick questions that can sell their game. This Q&A is not really for us, it's for them. Plus, they probably aren't going to give that much away. Like, oh, we're going to hold a Q&A, but they're not going to give any details away that are going to spoil stuff. So again, what's the point? They're just going to give really vague answers. Yeah, we have nothing to announce, or we have no plans, or where there might be something on that, you'll just have to keep an eye on our socials when blah blah blah. It's like there's no point in that sort of Q&A. Like, if you're going to do a Q&A, actually answer people's questions and answer everyone's questions, not just the selected questions you think will make you look good. But this is Frontier, and Frontier only want to look good, so. I suppose that is one of my problems with all the Jurassic World Evolution 3 stuff that's been coming out. I feel like people have forgotten Jurassic World Evolution 2 and 1's launch, just because we've seen some fancy terrain mechanics, and just because we've had some babies. Everyone is forgetting the other games, and it's like, why are we so willing to just pre-order straight away and sucking Frontier's balls, for want of another expression, when we should be saying, well, this looks good, but can you actually give us some proper information about the improvements that are coming? You know, baby dinosaurs are fine, but what are you doing to improve the management? What are you doing to improve the animations? What are you doing to improve the quality of behaviors? Like, that isn't happening at the moment, and that's disappointing me a little bit. But it is what it is. I suppose I just wish it would be nice for me not to be the only cynical one when it comes to Frontier. Sometimes it does get a bit boring being the only one that's willing to question things and not just straight up go and pre-order it. I don't know. Some things have been on... Let's just say some things have been on my mind lately about the YouTube channel and how things are going with it, and yeah, just some thoughts going around my head at the moment. Right, once we get all this vegetation put in here, I'm going to go and find some Suchomimus or Dinogarus, whichever one we pick to use for this. I think that's okay. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing them actually post some actual news from like the dev diaries and stuff. That'll be when we actually get some properly decent content from them. I mean, I'm kind of horrified at how many people have already pre-ordered. Like, we've barely seen anything, and people are pre-ordering like they are gonna die tomorrow. It's like, the pre-order will be there a couple of hours before the game launches. It's not disappearing. maybe wait until we get some actual good quality looks at this game. Because right now what you're doing is you're playing into the whole pre-order thing, the gaming industry relies on more and more for profit, and it baffles me. Just gonna remove that one. I seem to be in a grumpy mood today, don't I? I think it's possibly because I've just been a bit disappointed with how both of my YouTube channels are growing at the moment. Like I know that I've always maintained I'm not doing YouTube to be popular or successful, but you kind of expect each video to at least gain a few subscribers, and when you put out like 4 videos and get no new subscribers from it, it's like, kind of wasted my time. So yeah, I think I'm just a little bit disgruntled with that at the moment. I think that's decent enough. Okay, let's go get some something to put in here. I'm doing okay, Luna. Like I say, just some things on my mind at the moment. And I did already say hi to you, Luna. I did see you pop in. Right, let's get a notepad file up so we can write down our animal. So, piscivores. So, Baryonyx is already in the park. So, Dinocaris is a possibility. Suchomimus is a possibility. Spino, I think, is too big. So, I think Dinocaris or Suchomimus. Sucho's okay, but I'm kind of... I think Dinocaris is a bit more family-friendly, which, considering they are all in boats, I think Dinocaris is slightly safer, yes. I agree, Cairo. So, Dinocaris, male and female. Let's have a look. Let's get rid of that first. Quite like the green. The green is very vivid. So let's go with the greens, and let's use that one for the females and this one for the males. So this will be the males green, and males go for... I kind of feel like the more simplistic one works, the better, I think. So Gambia River Basin and Rana. And then the females will be that, and then if we get rid of the white hump, so the females will just have Pork Rana instead. So Salar del Huasco and Pulcrana. Okay. Irritator. I don't have Irritator in store. I don't know if that's a mod I've missed. Suko mimers would just snatch people out of the boats like someone going through a bag of chips. Yeah, I mean, Dinocaris is dangerous enough. It's still I think Dinocaris is still too big, but Jurassic World and Jurassic World especially doesn't understand health and safety. Like, there is so many massively things from a health and safety perspective. There is so much wrong with almost everything in Jurassic World. Before you even get to the dinosaurs, they do so many things that breach basic health and safety regulations. Oh, I don't have a dinosaur manufacturing place up here. Let's just put one over here out of the way. And we need our lovely Dinocaris. Gambia River Basin and Rana. We'll do 2 male and 4 female. It's quite a big area, so we might want to put in some more. You got 2. 2 should be enough. Okay. Oh, that's the wrong button. Oh dear. We'll have to move those ones manually. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just do this now. So let's grab you and drag you all the way up here. Place on ground. No? You're not going to let me move. It's in the middle of the animation loop, isn't it? So it won't let me do it. There we go. There we go. 1 and 2. There we go. And then we'll obviously have to... What is with the sluggishness? I think this map is getting to the point where the engine is starting to throw a hissy fit. Let's just do something. Oh, that didn't help. It's funny that this computer is more than capable of running this, and the engine is so shit that it's like, oh, just gonna stutter and be really shit. I hope Jurassic World Evolution 3 comes out in a far better optimized condition. Oh, yeah, I forgot they can eat plants as well, so... They'll have a nice varied diet with our Dinocaris. If we just... I think vegetation-wise... Seriously, you're not gonna let me put trees in here? I really hate the way the brushes work in this game. Your guests are concerned about the lack of shelters. I don't have any guests. This island is shut. I really don't... Stay cool, folks. Stay cool. I didn't expect all the Dinocaris to come wandering this way. They're fine. Your park has stars. Well, the park is open, isn't it? Because I loaded back into it. Oh. Ah, that'll be what all the stuttering was being caused by. It's the flipping guests. I should have thought about that. Because in this game, guests are like the same as full-on flipping explosions going on. Why are you two fighting? In a really demented... Some of the most demented... God, the combat animations in this were bad. So poor. It's one of the reasons I don't bother with it. Like, people have asked me before, like, why don't I make videos or stuff on, like, the combat animations and stuff? And I'm like, well, because they're rubbish. Like, if the combat animations actually looked half decent, then yeah, I would make videos on them, and I would care more about them. But they were awful. The combat looks the same looking at the Loki Ceratops model. Yeah, I mean, I was going to say that when I was doing my video on it, but I thought I didn't think there was much point, because when I criticized this sort of thing prior, I got a load of hatred from people. So I just thought this time round I won't mention it. We'll wait and see what happens. We'll wait and see if they improve the quality of the animations in the actual game, because as someone said, like, the game is still, all the footage we're seeing is in pre-alpha, which is concerning to say the least. But yeah, the animation quality and such could change drastically in the next few months. So I'm gonna try being optimistic for a change. There we go. I wonder if Prehistoric Kingdom will outdo Jurassic World Evolution 3 in combat animation. See, I almost don't like that question, because it presupposes that one has to be better than the other. I think the best way to answer that, or to respond to that, is to say that Prehistoric Kingdom is obviously a passion project made by people who don't have to worry about what Universal think. So they have a lot more freedom when it comes to how the animations are going to look and how they're going to work. And I think that has the potential to result in some very interesting animations and behaviors, compared to Frontier, who are kind of limited by having to do stuff that Universal wants them to. Incidentally, Prehistoric Kingdom works very well on the new PC, so hopefully, I'm thinking maybe next week, I'm gonna try and actually play it. Like, actually full on play it. Like, we'll try and actually build something like what Evo was doing today. But I suspect, that it won't be a quick, interesting stream. It might be a very boring stream, as I desperately try to get the building mechanics to work. But
the word you're looking for is tedious.
Tedious stream, yes. But, I suspect this is going to be something that we all have to live with once Jurassic World Evolution 3 comes out, is there is going to be now a certain level of tedium to every single build. Unless you're just going to solidly build without modular building, which, I've already got plans to do, like, to try to, like, do the same park, but one where it's fully modular building and one where we're not using modular building at all. Just to see, like, how different they come out. That is something I do plan. Assuming I get when I get the game. Obviously I will get it. The big question is, am I going to get it on release? Because they haven't won me over yet. Like, they haven't revealed enough about the game to make me go, yes, I will now pre-order this. needing it. I say needing it. Needing it for YouTube content is not a good enough reason. Which was the main reason why I pre-ordered Jurassic World Evolution 2. I want a better reason this time around. Well, I think that's, you know, pretty much done. Most of the rest of this enclosure will be the terrain brushes to do, like, meadows and stuff up the hills. So this is pretty much the most amount of, like, placed decoration I'm going to do. But I think this looks pretty decent as a Dinocaris habitat. Right. What time is it? Oh, we're about halfway through. So, let's do some decorative stuff down here, because I want to kind of get this guest area sorted out. And I think the first thing I'm going to make use of are my modded pillars. These guys, I think, are going to come in very handy. I think we are actually going to want some fencing here. We've got some low... There we go. And let's just shift that a bit so it covers up the end. There we go. Right, what do we want to do with these buildings? I'm okay with this being food. Let's make it like a ice cream. And then ground decorations, I think we'll go with... I like the plants. Okay, we'll go with the plants. And then for this one, we'll do... Let's move the entrance to the left. Then do the entrance to this one to the right. We'll make no decorations because what we'll do is we'll manually place down. Well, you know, actually, maybe it makes more sense. Oh, we move that one wholly over, but it doesn't get rid of that tree. I think that makes a bit more sense. We'll manually put down some things out here. And this one... we'll go for the dinosaur skull. Go for that one there. And then for this one... Oh. Go! And we'll put in low fencing. Yes, it's technically not a park. It's technically a seaside or coastal bay town, which just happens to have dinosaurs in it, you know. I can't think of many other ways to improve a random seaside town, you know, apart from it just happening to have dinosaurs in it, so... I don't like that. Happy with that, actually. Right. I feel like we need a few planters down this main street because it's a bit empty. It's primarily what I think these things are good for. It's just like having some planters here and there, just to spruce things up a bit. I do also like putting the occasional bench down. Then they just serve as like seating. Looks a little nicer. Rebirth Rex is the best design in the entire movie. Actually, for me, I think it's the Spinosaurus. Like, I haven't even seen the film, but I already love the Spinosaurus. I think the Spino design fulfills that nice middle ground between realistic and Jurassic Park. want something in the middle of this. Where's that mine? That's... And then I want these. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I don't know when Rebirth is coming to streaming services. It must be soon because Amazon Prime put a thing up for it the other day. So it must be probably in the next couple of weeks, I would think. And then obviously once it's up, I shall watch it. I have this kind of horrible feeling that I'm not going to enjoy it as much as everyone else has, and that makes me a little bit nervous because I'm like, I'm probably gonna tick so many people off if I don't enjoy it. I'm really nervous about saying anything bad about it. Even Eva, in her unshakable optimism about a lot of Jurassic stuff, like, she got some really nasty comments in her comment section. I was reading through them the other day. It does seem like Rebirth has become sort of the giant panda of the Jurassic community, and people are willing to defend it with ravenous aplomb. Oh, that sounds like a good idea, Luna. The fanboys have nothing against a professional. The fact you would even consider me a professional is scary. I think I'm reasonably happy with that. And what I do want to do is manually place down some trees, because trees will not, you know, end up going in here. So what I want to do is manually put down plenty of trees. Probably start with that area and then move on to higher ones up here. kind of want to figure out the layout for them first. Then we'll figure out... Not too many. Just want a, a decent amount to just... Kind of covers the road, protects from the road. Adds a little bit of natural cover down here, but not too much. I'll do the same sort of thing along this line. Probably, well, actually, I'll probably just have a bush fence, and then probably put the occasional tree. No. We'll just put like the occasional tree in I can live with a bit of clipping through fence. Especially if I'm not really going to be seeing it. Right. The fact that Dominion is my third lowest in my ranking Jurassic film says a lot. I suspect that will be the bit that that ends up being controversial when I do my review, is where I decide to put it. There's quite a lot that I've already seen and know that I've already kind of got like half an inkling about where I want to put it. Obviously, I'm not going to come out to a final decision until I see the thing. But the fact that I'm already a little on edge about it, just from the bits that have been spoiled to me and what I've heard, it doesn't bode well. Imagining your review right now. Here's the thing that is... I'm actually going to ask you guys, since a lot of you have already seen the film. Because I want to do an experiment here. When you rate when you're doing your ratings of the movie, where you position it in regards to the rest, are you ranking the film as the film on its own? So in comparison to the other movies as a movie on its own? Or do you take into account the wider franchise and lore and, you know, future projects and stuff like that? Do you take those into account? Because I feel that the movie, I feel like I may have to come up with 2 ratings for the film. One as a rating for the movie as just a movie on its own, and one as a rating for the movie as part of the Jurassic continuity. Because I don't think when you have more than, you know, when you have 6 films that are technically all linking together, I think you have to start ranking the films based on continuity, canonicity, respect for the lore and the franchise. And I suspect the difference... I suspect there's a difference between those 2. Like, sure, it's a good... It might be a good movie on its own. But is it a good movie as part of the wider context of the franchise? I suspect that's a more... not an interesting... Not a more interesting question, but perhaps the harder question to answer. I don't particularly like that tree. Ah. No. Just wanted some of the big ferns. The movie has nothing, it's empty. See, that surprises me to hear that being said, because I've heard from a lot of, you know, most of the Jurassic community seem to be singing this film's praises. I'm seeing lists where people are putting Rebirth as their 2nd or 3rd favourite after the original, which is extraordinary. I'm waiting for them to pull a somehow the Indominus returned plotline. Rebirth did better than Dominion. See, that's something else I've been hearing a lot, and I have a really big problem with that sort of comment. I have a huge problem with the comment of, oh, well, it's better than Dominion. If you think about it, the idea that this film is only better than Dominion is actually not as good of a thing to say as possible, as people are making out, because Rebirth has been made with the original scriptwriter for 1 and 2, and it's got Gareth Edwards as director. And in terms of the strengths, that's probably like 2 of the strongest people you can have working on the project. And the result of that is a movie better than the worst movie of the whole lot. Like, that's almost a damning, it's almost damning in it's like, wow, that's the best that you two have been able to do. Just marginally better than an absolutely terrible film. It makes me really nervous. I think this is also one of the problems with refusing to go and see it at the cinema. Is like, the longer time goes on and the more I hear and the more people talk, the more and more sort of iffy I get about it. Because everything I hear just sort of makes me more and more nervous. Yeah, I think, oh, what is it this time? Oh, it's the Sinosauropteryx again, that happens to be eating, but is currently, like, is dehydrating to death. Alright, I'm happy with this bit now. And we were thinking of having, like, a viewing dome entry or something like that there. Oh, that was going to be like a viewing dome, wasn't it? We'll have to move the viewing dome and maybe have it here. What I am pondering is what to do down here. I mean, this is obviously just going to be a plaza. We're going to have plenty of seating and stuff there. But I'm wondering what to do here. Maybe we could put like a rest area on the bank. Okay. And then just a bit. Feel the circles in. The boredness is killing me. Oh, yeah, but I haven't decided what I want to do in them yet. So, they'll just have to stay where they are for now. I haven't decided if I wanted to put fountains or foliage in there yet. supposed to basically do the same here? So it's just... How tall is this compared to that? That would be sufficient. Okay. I mean, it's a little dangerous, but, you know, as long as we don't have anything too big over there. You could do a pond or a fountain, sounds better. Okay, how about this? We'll put one fountain in and the other one we'll leave for foliage. You know, if this was Jurassic World Evolution 1, I would put a big tree of life there. But alas, this is not Jurassic World Evolution 1, and we do not have a big tree. I don't actually like how high that is. I'm going to lower it down slightly. And then we'll put like trees and stuff in there. And then this we'll put some reeds and that sort of. I got a Listron, low health. The inability of these guys to drink from what is an enormous water source really drives me nuts. We'll only drink from here, and specifically here. This will be fenced off. And then obviously what we'll have to do is we'll have to continue this this fence will have to be continued all the way up to at least here. So I'll probably do it a little neater than this. Let's just mark off where I want to have some more animal enclosures. So, sort of here. This is going to be another animal sort of enclosure. And I'm probably going to want one sort of here. And then we don't really need one for the turning circle. And we can stretch this one out to like here. So we'll have like 3 enclosures up here, which will be separated off by invisible fence. We'll make sure there's plenty of trees in the background here, just to create a fake park boundary. And then basically the animal side of things is done, and the rest of this build becomes putting down foliage, decoration, fencing, rocks, and stuff like that, just to make it look a bit more bedded in. So yeah, there isn't too much left of this build to go. Thank you, Radio. No, there won't be Zugomomus. We've decided on Dinocaris instead. These 2 last enclosures, they'll be just herbivorous because we don't want a super big predator in here. I am going to put in a dome here. This dome is going to connect to there. And then what we'll do is get this dome and sink it slightly. There we go. And that'll give a good vision over these 2 enclosures. And gives, you know, something over here. I'll have to fence this in. But yeah. We know we need a prehistoric park themed habitat. Don't know. I've got like once this build is finished, I've got like I think 3 other builds to finish. Those being Arizona Reserve, Jurassic World Crete, and Jurassic World Europe, or Germany. Which is what I'll be doing in streams once this build is finished, is finishing those other parks. And then I suspect by the time I'm done with those, that it won't be too long until Jurassic World Evolution 3 comes out, but I hate how not very lush this oak tree looks. Does the job. Interesting. This is quite a large gap. What I am actually thinking about next week is on the Friday stream, since we'll be playing Prehistoric Kingdom on Sunday stream, I'm thinking on the Friday stream of doing just like a kind of just like building some random things in this game, because this game doesn't have very long left to go. Obviously, everyone will be switching over soon, so like just doing some like weird and like random building stuff, or maybe building challenges or something. Like designing some enclosures, some small enclosures, or just taking something like a fountain and seeing how we can spruce it up to look more interesting, something like that. I think we'll have, so people are entering here technically. So I do think we need to make a little bit more of this. That doesn't really work. Do like the gatehouse, even if it's not very in keeping with the style. Maybe we'll just have to wing it. Where was that? This? It's just a little bit too narrow. Maybe we can do something with putting it here. I'm coming up with something. I'm coming up with something. Welcome to Jurassic Village. And maybe then we can place down planters. Not quite centered to the corner, but it'll do. You can put like a dinosaur statue or something there. See you later. Did he provide his name? Because obviously I can't read the Arabic name. I did ask last stream, but I don't think I got a response. Yeah, I think this is probably gonna take another 2 streams to finish, like a stream each for each of the enclosures, and then homework time, and then it'll basically be done. I like the concept. Although I do think that perhaps this map is too big for it. I think like this on its own, I really like this on its own, this little bit nested in here as just the little park next to the town. I think it works really well. I'm not sure like I 100% like how huge the map is. It's a massive place and it feels a bit bare, to be honest. I think it's an interesting concept for a map idea that perhaps come Jurassic World Evolution 3 we might be able to do a bit more justice to, because we can design our own buildings and, you know, fill up a lot more space and do a lot better rock work and stuff. But yeah, I'm reasonably happy with how this build has gone. It's a different sort of idea for a park build, you know. Dino Village. Yes, Dino Village by the sea. I have to say, now we have all the... What is happening here? They've got unstuck. I need to try and make them despawn to unstick them. That didn't work. Oh, traffic jams. He is King Giga. Is his name Soundman? Is that literally what that translates to? How do I get them to unspawn? I'll have to figure that out. Otherwise, there will be a forever thing going on here. Usually they ah, there we go. Just shifting the thing did it. It's because the if you have a look at the roots, they have to take this corner was just too tight for me to get them round and keep the road this width. Like, even though I gave them quite a bit of space, I just couldn't I couldn't get them around here without them coming together. Ah, did they, King Giga? Righto. See, that they stop. I wish they would stop a little better. It's the only bit that kind of does mess up a bit, 'cause the rest of the route is pretty fine. I did have to alter this down here, just again to give them space to do the turning circle on these Jeeps are incredibly annoying. Now getting them up this hill was also kind of frustrating, as you can see by the really random wiggly bit here. Getting them around here worked fine, although this was a bit close. And then they went up this hill fairly easily. There was some weird oddity going on here because of the angles of everything. And they do get very close to the fence on some occasions, but yeah. Just a masterful job by Kingu. Right, by Kaedenik even. Right. It's my D&D night, so I'm going to leave it here for this evening. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I know that Evo is still streaming as well, so I appreciate your support in coming and joining me here today. Like I say, next week, on Friday, we'll do some random enclosure building, some random decoration stuff. See what masterpieces we can come up with and just have a kind of a chills thing. And then Sunday will be on Prehistoric Kingdom, and Wednesday, obviously, there will be the usual stream from Fallout. I might see if we can play something else other than Metal Gear Solid. Maybe do some Grip or something, just for a bit of a difference. And there is a video ready to go for next week as well, so do tune in and watch that. Don't forget to like the stream if you haven't done already. If you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing to help us grow. And yeah, wherever you are, I hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday evenings. Stay safe, and good night.